Internal field, otherwise known as local field. So let us consider a dielectric material. When an electric field is not applied to a dielectric material, the positive charge center and the negative charge centers coincide, meaning they don't separate. The charges will not get separated. But once we apply an electric field to the dielectric material, the positive charges will be displaced with respect to the field direction, and the negative charges will be displaced in a direction opposite to field direction. So when the charges get separated, that is a negative charge and positive charge, when they are separated by some distance, we call it as dipole. So inside the dielectric material, there is going to be creation of dipoles. So this process is what is called polarization, and because there is dipole, there is going to be induced dipole moment, because dipole moment is nothing but product of charge into distance separating them. So when a dielectric material is placed in an external electric field, it produces induced dipole moment. Now two fields are acting at any points inside the dielectrics. So if you take any point inside the dielectric material, there will be two fields acting. The first field is nothing but the applied electric field. So we apply an electric field. So that will be the first field acting at any point inside the dielectric. Macroscopic meaning in the larger sense. That is, if we take a whole dielectric material and if we apply an electric field, or if we connect a battery across the parallel plates of a capacitor, an electric field is generated as a whole. So macroscopic, when we say it is going to be considered in the larger sense. So first field is nothing but the applied electric field. Second one, there is going to be electric field due to induced dipole moment. Generally, we know electric field is nothing but voltage by distance or potential difference by distance. So potential difference is nothing but positive charge and negative charge. Okay. So they are separated by a distance. We know that inside the dielectric material, positive and negative charges are separated by distance. So potential difference is created across some distance, because of which an electric field is going to be there due to this induced dipole moment. So two fields are acting. One field is due to the applied electric field and the second field is due to the induced dipole moment. So these long range Coulomb field produced due to the dipoles is known as internal field or local field. Now we are going to derive this internal field or local field, and this derivation was given by Lorentz. So we call it as Lorentz method to find internal field. Now please see the diagram. A dielectric material is considered. So this dielectric material is placed between the two parallel plates of a capacitor. Now a battery is connected across the two parallel plates of the capacitor. So this is the positive terminal of the battery. So this side of the parallel plate has got positive charges. Similarly, this is the negative side of the battery. So this side of the parallel plate has got negative charges. Now once a battery is connected, an electric field is generated in this direction, because from plus to minus only. So electric field is generated in this direction. So because of this electric field, inside the dielectric materials, the charges, negative charges and positive charges, they get separated. Initially, without an electric field, the charge centers will coincide. When we apply an electric field, positive charges are displaced in the field direction, negative charges are displaced opposite to the field direction. So there is going to be dipole creation, or we say the dielectric is polarized because of this applied electric field. So minus charge, negative charges are collected on this side of the dielectric, positive charges are collected on this side of the dielectric. Now the dielectric material is uniformly polarized by placing it between the two parallel plates of a capacitor. Now so this is the dielectric material. Let me consider an atom C, because you know a dielectric material consists of number of atoms. Let me consider one such atom C. Now let us imagine a spherical cavity around this atom C. So let C be an atom inside the dielectric material. Let us imagine a spherical cavity around this atom C. So our aim is to find out the internal field acting at this atom site C. Okay. So see here, see the charges. So you here, this side we have negative charges, this side we have positive charges. By electrostatic induction, we know that this is minus. So this portion of the sphere will have positive charges by electrostatic induction. And since we have positive charges here, this side of the sphere will have negative charges. So all these things are happening due to electrostatic induction. As I told you, our aim is to find out the internal field acting at the point C. So the internal field acting at this atom site C is given by sum of 4 electric fields. So E int is nothing but internal field is nothing but the sum of E1 and E2 and E3, E4. So sum of E1, E2, E3 and E4 will give us internal field. So all this E actually represents electric field due to charges. So from where these charges are coming, that is what we are going to see about E1, E2, E3, E4. So all the 4 represent electric field due to charges. So always remember, we will start from the outer end, then we will come to the inner side. So from the outer end we are going to start. So E1 is nothing but the electric field due to charges on the parallel plates of the capacitor. Okay. E2. So where we are able to see charges on the 2 surfaces of the dielectric. So what is E2? Electric field due to charges induced on the 2 surfaces of the dielectric. Come to E3. So what is E3? From outer end we are coming to the inner side. So this is over. This charges we have discussed. These charges we have discussed. Now we have to talk about the charges on the surface of the spherical cavity. Okay. So what is E3? Electric field due to charges induced on the surface of the spherical cavity. We are going to use the word induced because by electrostatic induction we are getting charges here. Okay. So E4. E4 I am going to talk about the electric field due to permanent dipoles present inside the spherical cavity. See, everywhere we have atoms and we apply an electric field, the dipoles get separated. I mean, the charges get separated, dipoles are formed. So even inside the cavity there will be permanent dipoles. So because of which an electric field is developed. So E4 is nothing but electric field due to permanent dipoles inside the spherical cavity. So E int is nothing but E1 plus E2 plus E3 plus E4. E1 is nothing but the electric field due to the charges on the parallel plates of the capacitor. E2 is nothing but the electric field due to the charges induced on the 2 surfaces of the dielectric. E3 is nothing but the electric field due to charges induced on the surface of the spherical cavity. E4 is the electric field due to the permanent dipoles present inside the spherical cavity. Now, macroscopically, we can take E is equal to E1 plus E2. That is, see, we know what is E1 and we know what is E2. So, the moment we apply an electric field, what is going to happen? We are going to have charges separated inside the dielectric. So, E, the applied field E is nothing but E1 plus E2. Because the moment we apply electric field, these two fields are going to act, and these two fields, if you sum these two fields, that will give us capital E. So macroscopically, that is in the larger sense, if you take, the applied electric field E is nothing but sum of E1 and E2. Because these two electric fields are going to come immediately when we apply an external electric field. So macroscopically, we can take E is equal to E1 plus E2. Okay. So let us talk about E4. So we know E4 is nothing but the electric field due to the permanent dipoles inside the dielectric material, inside the spherical cavity. So it's a spherical cavity and I'm going to call it as a symmetric dielectric. So once the dielectric is symmetric, what will happen is the permanent dipoles, they will get the electric field due to the permanent dipoles will get cancelled out with each other. Because the dielectric is highly symmetric, the electric field created due to the permanent dipoles will get cancelled out with each other, because of which E4 is going to be 0. Is it okay? So E is equal to E1 plus E2. Since the dielectric is highly symmetric, the electric field due to the dipoles present inside the imaginary spherical cavity will cancel out with each other. Therefore, E4 is also 0. So now what is E int? E1 plus E2 is E. E4 is 0. So we have E3, E plus E3 we have. E int is nothing but E plus E3. So our aim is now to determine E3. So what is E3? It is the electric field due to the charges induced on the surface of the spherical cavity. So let us start with this derivation. Calculation of E3. Now I am going to consider, see, my aim is to find out the electric field due to the charges induced on the surface of the spherical cavity. Now let me just consider the small area ds. Okay, let us consider a small area ds on the surface of this spherical cavity. Let Q prime be the charge on this area ds. Let Q prime be the charge on this area ds. Okay. Let us consider a small area ds on the surface of the spherical cavity. Now, polarization is parallel to E. Okay, we all know what is the direction of E electric field, this one. Our polarization, what is polarization? When the charges get separated, dipoles are formed. This process is what is called polarization. Polarization is a vector, as we have seen that in the basic definitions. So that polarization is also parallel to E. See, polarization is this way. Our electric field direction is also this way. So polarization and electric field, they are parallel to each other. Since polarization is a vector, I am going to consider Pn as the normal component of polarization. See here, this is P. This is going to be Pn, that is normal component of polarization. So just take this one alone. I have just drawn it separately. Can you understand? This one alone I have taken. I have just marked a line here. So we know opposite to the right angle is hypotenuse. Opposite to angle is opposite side. The other side is going to be adjacent. Okay. I want Pn. So where is this Pn? It is in the adjacent side. So when we say adjacent, we talk of cos theta. When we say opposite, we talk of sin theta. So since I want this Pn, which is in the adjacent side, cos theta is nothing but Pn by P, or Pn is equal to P cos theta. So remember, normal component of polarization Pn is nothing but P cos theta. As I told you, let Q prime be the charge on the area ds. By definition, normal component of polarization is defined as surface charge per unit area. So what is the area we are considering? ds. So what is the charge there? Q prime. So Q prime by ds will give us the normal component of polarization. So Pn is equal to, just now we saw P cos theta, that is nothing but Q prime by ds. Or from here you write what is Q prime? P cos theta ds. Now this is the charge, okay, Q prime on the area ds. Now due to this charge, what is the electric field at C? We all know this one, electric field expression we know. E is equal to, general expression we say E is equal to Q by 4 pi epsilon naught R square. Okay. So we have E is equal to Q prime by 4 pi epsilon naught R square.